Hey, what's up, everybody? This is attorney Dan Nguyen, and I want to talk to you about wills and trusts and putting your house into the trust. Now, I got this question the other day, and during the current climate we have, I'm getting a lot more inquiries about helping people doing their wills and trusts. And a lot of people have their own, like they own their own house or it's titled into their own name. But what about the situation where you own a house with, say, a sibling or another person, right? And so it's not always straightforward. But I want to share with you guys how you would put your, at least your portion into the trust if you are in this situation. So, for example, let's say you have another sibling and you inherited a house from your parents, right? So you and your sibling own it 50-50. So how do you put your 50% interest into the trust? So it kind of depends, first of all, how you hold title. So most likely it would be what's called a joint tenancy with right of survivorship. So what this means is that each party owns a undivided interest in the whole part, and at the time of death of one owner, then their portion goes to the remaining owner. So a lot of people use this as kind of a probate avoidance tool, which technically does avoid probate for multiple owners, but it's not a really good solution if you have certain situations. So for joint tenants, um, it goes to a surviving party. Okay, so it avoids probate, but it doesn't avoid probate when there's only one remaining single owner, and they would own it as a single person or as appropriate. If you, the other type of situation is if it's held as tenants in common. And this is you get a percentage of the whole again. But in this situation, if say you pass away, then your portion goes through probate. Okay. So when we prepare our deeds for our clients to put their properties into probate, properties into the trust, we check the title and see how it's held and make sure we're doing everything correctly. I have found out in situations where title is not what they said, and we had to do some fixing on the title. But in this situation here, if it's held tenants in common, if you hold it with your sibling, then your portion will go through probate, or each portion will go through probate if there's a death of one of the two owners. So how do you kind of avoid at least your portion avoiding through probate? So you would have to shift to put your portion into your living trust, okay, and then hopefully the other owner also has a revocable living trust as well to put their portion. But obviously you can't control what they do. You should encourage them, especially if the property. Remember, in California, a $500,000 property, and that's market value. Um, the probate fees is $11,000. So it's always a good idea to have something in place to, pay a little bit up front to avoid kind of paying down the road for your estate. Okay, so if you own property as in tenants in common, then you want to put your portion into your revocable living trust. You would have to get the owner or your sibling on the signature, because it would require all parties to that's on the title to sign on this. I believe that's true for the joint tenants. I'll have to double check for tenants in common if you require all signatures, but certainly your portion. And I think it would probably be appropriate for all people who are on title as tenants in common to sign for your portion to go into regular living trust, just so it's easy to determine chain of title. So when you have to sell this, then it's easy for title to see the chain of title and see who the ownership is. But this can get a little tricky if you have this on your own. If you're trying to do this on your own, it's much more straightforward if say you're husband and wife and own the property. But if you're not sure, please call your local real estate or estate planning attorney to help you preparing these deeds. But I wanted to share with you guys, that particular situation where if two people own a house that are not husband and wife, how do they put their portion at least into the trust to avoid probate? All right, so this is Dan talking about wills and trusts, funding the trust with your real estate, and I'll talk to you soon.